and welcome back to
Bunso Bites.
I'm your host, Ami43.
And I'm your co-host, Jiggy.
Hi, Jiggy.
Hi, Ami.
Wow, what a new year.
New year.
Yes. I know we were talking last week about, like, how, with the physiology episode, we were talking about, like, how we've been starting our new year. And it has just been guns a-blazing. We've been going. But in a good way. Really, really busy. Obviously doing wedding prep things. And all good things. But, yeah, how have you been? How's your week?
It's been meh.
Meh.
One random day, my knee wanted to act up again.
Yeah.
And so I felt it hurting, but the last time I did that, I kept rubbing it. Mm-hmm. And that time, a lot more fluid entered my knee, and I was just like, oof. For why?
Yeah.
This time, I really didn't rub it, but still, fluid came in, and I was able to wrap my knee up to help it. And, it's doing a little bit better than last time, at least.
Yeah.
So my week hasn't been that great. The only good thing is that I wasn't so disabled that I had to go back on crutches again.
Yeah.
So probably that's about it.
You're just kind of hobbling around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a little bit of a scare because we're getting really, really close to the wedding, and it's just like, I need him to be standing, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, we're trying to keep things relatively easy for you and not stress you out too much. Me, on the other hand, I've been busy and stressed. Mm-hmm. But I'm also very, everything is fine. There's no fires that have happened. Mm-hmm. For all intents and purposes. Everything is on schedule. I have everything written out for what needs to be done, what day, what needs to be accomplished, what day. The week of the wedding has been scheduled out, and I'm assigning things okay, you drop off this, you pick up this, you do that. Everything is going well, but it is a lot.
Yes.
I'm kind of project managing a lot of people, a lot of things, a lot of different timelines, and that wonderful trait that I have of not being able to let go is kind of biting me a little bit, but I also feel like I'm not so far gone. Mm-hmm. We're okay. And it's kind of funny because I was talking about this before, when kind of the end of last year, where I was kind of balancing a lot of things with the holidays, wedding planning, and family in and out of town, moving into my new apartment. There was a lot of things going on, and there was a couple of things that happened where it was kind of I got roadblocked in a way, and it happened again this week. So I bought it's not a Murphy bed, it's a transformer bed essentially, and it looks like a bench, and then you can pull it out and it becomes a full bed. Right. And I got that for our spare bedroom in the new apartment, so that if and when we have guests over, they have a place to stay. But at the same time, it's not taking up so much space that I just have another bedroom, because obviously we have our hobby things and, extra clothes, extra things, whatever, we're definitely using it as storage. So it's a multi-purpose room in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And because of your knee, you weren't able to help me the way you helped me with a lot of the other furniture that we had to build. And I was building the furniture, and, I'm still working. So I'm still working my 9 to 5, but, I think it was at 2:00 in the morning or something. I'm finishing working on this bed, and I drop one of the pieces onto my foot. And it's it was not fun. I want to be very clear. I did not break anything. Everything is fine. 99.9% sure I'm going to have a gnarly bruise, though. Mm-hmm. And I'm ooh, that's not great, because I'm definitely taking pictures of my shoes for the wedding. So I'm kind of I was looking up options of different body makeup or tattoo covering type makeup to see if that will kind of augment the bruise that I'm expecting to come. Or, kind of hoping that we still got, a little bit of time. Maybe it'll go away on its own. We'll see. But we're definitely coming down to the wire, and it's been crazy. It's been fun, but it's been crazy. But all of that to say, this episode, we really wanted to kind of dive in. we've been talking about wedding and wedding planning this whole year. And so we thought it would be appropriate to like actually break down how wedding planning worked out for us. So as this year has been filled with all things wedding, we just wanted to kind of go through, and not like specifics, but just, I guess, our experience with wedding planning and how that journey has been for us. For all intents and purposes, we had about a year to plan the wedding.
Yes.
Give or take. Chiggy proposed to me in February of 2024. We are getting 2025. Oh my gosh. Years are funny. Chiggy proposed to me in February of 2025, and we scheduled and planned our wedding for January of 2026.
Yes.
And which is this month, like, you know, so it has been 11, almost 12 months, a year, give or take. And I think one of the nice things about wedding planning, in a sense of, what did it feel daunting in any way? I would say no, because I think I've had enough experience handling other weddings, handling other activities, other things. Like, I've planned and program managed big scale events before. So I kind of knew like the big things that need to be done. I had a pretty good idea of like, okay, this is, you know, what are the things that need to get knocked out right now? What are the things that we can kind of glide through and go through? And what are the things that, like, you know, I like to think that I had some decent foresight on like potential problems or potential issues. And so I tried my best. We tried our best to kind of curb those concerns. And that has led us to this month, which is essentially our wedding month. And we're, you know, locking in and getting everything ready and done. So from the get-go, one of the things that we knocked out very, very early was the venue and my dress.
Yes.
Because those are kind of the bigger things. And by bigger, I mean they're the bigger time commitment things. So, concerning the dress, it was, I don't even want to say it was easy. It was just very straightforward. There was one weekend, or there was like one, like my parents were here in February when you proposed. And then I think they came back to visit either the following month, March or April. I don't remember what was going on. But like we didn't really have specifics planned out, but I knew that I wanted to go dress shopping with my mom. That was kind of a big thing. And I could be remembering the timeline a little bit wrong, but this is generally what happened, because I know that when Chiki proposed to me, I did go to, like, there was like sales happening. So like I would go to bridal boutiques that were having like flash sales. So like wedding dresses for $6.99 or wedding dresses for $500, which is like a really big deal. I didn't go with the hopes of finding a wedding dress. I actually was going to look for a reception dress, because originally I wanted to do a wedding dress and then a reception dress. Spoiler alert, that's not what's happening. I just got a wedding dress, and which is fine. Plans changed. And then, yeah, so then I scheduled an appointment for whenever my mom was in town. We went to a boutique, and I specifically scheduled this boutique, or I did my research online. I wanted to go to this boutique because what they had available were Disney dresses, very specifically. And I wanted to see, was it worth the hype? Like, was it actually the Disney fairy tale wedding dresses? Was it actually like fairy tale wedding dress, or is it just a wedding dress that they slap a Disney tag on? So I was like, let's look. No intention of actually buying on this first round. We just wanted to try on different styles of dresses, different materials of dresses, different whatever. I am personally someone who is a hobby sewer person. So I have a pretty, I would say, well-rounded knowledge of fabrics and structure and dress pattern making. I'm not going to say that I'm a designer, definitely not. But I have enough know-how to kind of be like, what am I really looking for in a wedding dress? And like, what am I paying for? And if I'm actually wanting to pay for that much, or like that type of thing. There's a lot of elements that go into wedding dresses. That's all that to say. And so, yeah, Mom and I went and tried on the first Disney wedding dress. It was cool. It was great. It was glorious. It was wonderful. And we tried on like 3 or 4 other dresses. And then we went back to the Disney wedding dress. And it was like, oh, okay. And that was it. Like we kind of just, it was like lock in real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And by lock in real quick, what I had quickly noticed was when I tried on the Disney dress and then when I tried on other dresses, and I want to be like perfectly clear, the other wedding dresses that I tried on by other designers, beautiful, wonderful, stunning. Like, I mean, I really was looking, some of the inspiration that I was looking at were like Waters wedding dresses and Monique Luhier wedding dresses. Very beautiful, stunning, like, very like garden, natural, like all these like beautiful elements. But what I noticed when I was trying on the different dresses was, at least with what I tried on at the store, when I put on the Disney dress, it was kind of like, oh, I feel what I'm paying for.
Mm-hmm.
Not just in the fact that they slapped, like it wasn't just they slapped the Disney name on a dress. This is a very well made dress. It was intricate. It had beading. It was layered. It was, and the corset structure and like everything about it, top to bottom, seam to seam, perfection. Like there was no questions about it. When I was trying on the other dresses, now granted, different styles again. So like maybe, you know, the corset wasn't as like locked in because that wasn't the style of that dress. But I could tell like, oh, okay, if this dress is $1,000 cheaper, I can feel why the dress is $1,000 cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Vice the Disney dress. And as we literally like in the 3 to 7, whatever amount of dresses I tried on, we always kept going back to, like literally I would say, oh, I really like this, but compared to that dress, and I kept going back to the Disney dress. So then finally I was like, well, if that's the dress you want, then just get that dress.
Right.
Easy, simple. We scheduled, or we literally like booked it. We're like, okay, order, you know, this dress. And then I booked my fitting for it. I think it was scheduled for, it was going to get delivered like end of summer. So then I was scheduled for a fitting, like, you know, alterations fitting like in September, October timeframe. And so this was like springtime, like, you know, March, April. And then, you know, the dress takes so many months because I have to make the dress, or, you know, and all that stuff. There's a whole business behind it, which is why you get your wedding dress early.
Mm-hmm.
And then alterations. And even then, my alterations was like tight because I had alterations in October, I think, or end of September, beginning of October. And then and then my fitting would be December.
Okay. Which
is like, you know, so it's like it literally is a process that takes 10 to 12 months, which is why we wanted to knock it out as quickly as we did. And I'm very lucky that we lucked out that quickly. Like it was one appointment with my mom locked in. So that was the wedding dress, and it was like, okay, one big thing, check. We have what I'm wearing, check. And then the next big thing that we wanted to knock out was venue.
Yes.
Now this was really funny because again, I was kind of like locked in, as in like I had I kind of already had a game plan. I was like, okay, here's the types of venues that we're looking at. Here's the types of whatever that we're looking at. And, you know, I was like, this is what we're looking for. And I think either the same weekend or another weekend that my parents were in town, again, either in like early spring or something along those lines, we actually went to like one of the country club golf courses here in Hampton Roads. And it was fine. It was a perfectly acceptable venue. But that was it. It was fine. I wasn't discouraged by it, but I wasn't in love with it. It was like oh, this will work. It's accessible. It has parking. The venue is nice. I wouldn't say it was extravagant, but it was nice. And for all intents and purposes, it was very much within budget, at least at that point. Now, after that visit with my parents, I kept going on, like doing research and doing whatever. And I was visiting venues. Like I literally was spending, you know, weekends in my car, driving to different venues, driving around, like looking for, because the venue that I visited with my parents, like I said, it checked all the boxes, but I wasn't excited about it. I kept saying this to you. I was like, I'm not excited about it. Like it'll work, but I'm not excited. It doesn't look exciting. It doesn't feel exciting. It'll work, but it's not exciting. And so I was like, we still have some time. Let me look for exciting. And so I looked for almost a month, 2 months. And then I think by early summer, I burned out. And and by burnout, I mean like I had a mini mental breakdown and I went to you and I was like, I can't find anything. And I was like, I don't know why I can't find anything. I was like, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing because I've done this before. And I'm like, I can't find anything that I like at all. And I think it was just like the weight of it, and I don't know. I wasn't fully present. I don't know what it was. So then I go to Jiggy and I was like, okay, I need help or something has to change, because like I keep going to these places and like nothing's adding up. We found a venue that we really liked, but we weren't excited by the price. Not because it wasn't we could have probably paid for it and it would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But for the price that we were paying there, it was kind of like we can go there if we absolutely have to. Like, we weren't excited about paying that price for that, if that makes sense. Which sounds really funny because like we ended up paying the same amount at our current venue, I think, if not more.
Mm-mm.
No? Okay, I don't remember.
Yeah, so there was a weekend where myself and Ami, you know, we went out and we drove around to look at a couple of these golf clubhouses.
Yeah, I think it was someone else. Someone had like kind of tipped me, and then you were saying, you're just like, well, let's just look at the ones here. And
right.
I was like, oh, why didn't I think it? Like, it was like it wasn't an online Google thing. And I think that's where I was hung up. I was just notoriously online, and I was visiting these places.
Yeah.
And then you were like, let's look in our backyard. Let's just drive around.
Yeah.
Literally, you said, let's take a drive.
Right. So literally in the area that I live at, there are 4 different golf courses.
Mm-hmm.
And so each of them has its own clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I know of at least 3. And then there's one that I have to look up because I've never been to at all.
Right, right.
And so we went to the first one that your parents mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we spent a lot of time there. They gave us the whole, you know,
spiel,
the whole details, the whole packet. They were like, this is what we can offer you based on, you know, this number of guests.
Yes.
And I was like, whoa, that's a lot of guests, because at first we were only hoping for like 75 to 100 people.
Yeah.
But they were like, this is our package for 200 guests.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the spacing was decent. The only thing was that since it's going to be in winter, the outside wasn't going to be really for us.
Yeah.
And
but also, it was just, again, it was an okay place that checked all the boxes,
mm-hmm.
but we weren't excited.
Right. You know, like when we visited, we were still finding things that, you know, that didn't wow us.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, like, I know before we left, I was like, hey, can I take some pictures and videos of the place?
Mm-hmm.
So like I have something to reference before we leave.
Yeah.
And, you know, they were fine with it. And we left and we checked out, you know, some other ones.
Yeah.
And there was one that was like, definitely no.
Definite bust. Yeah. Which it was kind of just a weird vibe for the beginning. But
yeah.
It was definitely like this is not a clubhouse. It's more like a rec room.
Right.
You know, which is fine. We were just kind of visiting around.
Yep.
So one immediate no.
Yep. And then the one that I didn't know how to get to, we looked it up. Mm-hmm. We visited it that day as well.
Yeah.
And we were like, wow, you know, the outside is stunning.
That one had a wow factor. Like, that was we got excited just pulling up.
Right.
I mean, I know I did.
Yeah. And then as we walked in, our expectations just started to drop, because when we looked at the actual hall, we were like, this doesn't feel like a good wedding spot.
Yeah.
Or a good reception spot, because it kind of looked like a bar.
It was very gentleman's bar vibe.
Yeah.
Like, it had that like dark brown wood.
Mm-hmm.
The bar was very prevalent. And if you don't know, we are having a dry wedding. And so it was kind of just like, okay. But then we were like, well, it's not impossible. And actually at the time, there was a wedding happening when we visited. Not happening. They were setting up. We did not crash someone's wedding. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. They were setting up for a wedding, I think for the following day or that evening or something like that. And, you know, and again, we just kind of like walked in. Like, we were just like, we just want to look and see. And the staff there, they were very kind. But they told us, they're like, we're very busy. Like, if you want, you know, just email us, you know, or call us at this number. Currently, like, we're setting up for a wedding. But, you know, just generally, here's the reception area. Here's if you want to get married here, here's that area. And then this section is open for you as well for pictures. And we were kind of like, okay, the outside grounds, gorgeous, beautiful, stunning, would love. The inside, a little less to be desired. But again, it wasn't that it was ugly or that it just wasn't our vibe, because again, it felt very like gentleman's club, cigar, sitting in old brown leather lounge chairs type of thing. Yeah. And we weren't really going for that for our wedding, I don't think. I mean, we ended up not going with it, but yeah. And they were really nice too.
Yeah, they were.
I want to preface all this. I don't think we've had a bad vendor experience this whole time.
Not at all.
Which is amazing to me, because we've gone through so many, like, contacting and whatever, and everyone has been not just nice, but like they would go above and beyond and provide us any information. Like whenever we ask a question, more than enough information to cover whatever we were worried about.
Right. And like during this entire time, Mommy's like researching other spots to hold a reception at.
Yes.
And those fell one by one only because not only did we have to shuffle out the money for the actual venue, we also had to shuffle out money for the actual caterer for the event. And so the catering, it made such a big difference because it's an extra vendor that had to be there, and then they have to coordinate with whoever's at the actual venue.
Yes.
And it's, it's another thing that gets in the way, right. Another obstacle.
Or it's another person.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was like, oh, wow, things are piling up very quickly.
Right. We just got a wedding dress, and we're looking at venue, and we're considering catering. So like those are, and obviously venue and catering are your biggest expenses at your wedding, generally speaking. But one of the things that was, and I want to like say, at least for Hampton Roads, there kind of is like one, maybe two or three, but like really there's one premium caterer that appears at every venue we went to said that they're okay with this caterer. And it was a combination of three, but there was always one.
Yeah.
And I've worked with that caterer. They do provide wonderful, amazing, delicious food. I also really like their food because they do like a lot of local food, and they do like a lot of Southern twist type food, which is very much up our alley. But they are a premium caterer, so you are paying a very premium price. So before Bulbasaur interrupted me, I'm sorry. The caterer that is very strongly prevalent in our region, very premium caterer, I'm sorry. And so because of that, you are paying a very premium price. Mm-hmm. Is it worth it? Absolutely. I'm not saying that the price that they charge is not the value that they provide. It is. But at the end of the day, it's expensive. Like, period. It's just expensive. Especially if you're considering the caterer plus the venue. You like Shika was saying, the money, the numbers were running up real quick, and we were just starting. So we were like, okay. And then around this time, this was early summer again. Mm-hmm. My cousin and his fiance at the time, so this is before they were married. Mm-hmm. We went out to have dinner with them. I think it was a family dinner with them, and my cousin's fiance was like, "Hey, did you ever look at this, or have you ever heard of this venue?" They got married in 2025, so she had gone through this same process just a few months before we did. And she named a venue that I just didn't, I was like, I've never seen that venue before. Mm-hmm. And which is crazy because I had done such extensive research. And here was this venue that was just like, what is this? And at this point, I think we were juggling between the cheap venue that didn't wow us, the really, really expensive venue that we were probably going to say no to, but it was on the table because at least it had the wow factor we wanted for the wedding. And then this new venue that was recommended to us by our cousin's fiance, I'm sorry. And we contacted them, and we were like, hey, we wanted to just tour the venue. I was recommended this by a friend of mine. She says that it kind of has the vibe that she thinks would suit our wedding. Mm-hmm. We're planning on getting married next year. And that's when we met Sharon. Mm-hmm. Our fairy godmother, Sharon. We love Sharon. And yeah, we went to go tour this venue, and Sharon she's a venue coordinator there, and she showed us everything, and we asked all of our questions. And the thing that truly knocked it out of the park was this venue comes with in-house catering.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean? That means we pay for the venue, and then within the venue and the price that comes with it and like whatever, it's all this big bundle price of venue and catering. The only thing we had to take care of was dessert, which is like, okay, cool, great. So we were like, oh, snap. And then on top of all of that, as we're touring this venue, it was like from the entryway, I was like, this is stuff from the drive-in, passing the 2 fountains plus the little like the rotunda thing, and then pulling up to the actual venue. Like, it was already like, oh wow, this is just as beautiful as that other venue that had a really beautiful exterior. And then when we walked in, we were like, oh snap, like this is a venue. And then it just kept getting better and better, because it was like, okay, this is the receiving room, and then this is this room, and there was just so many rooms. And I was like, oh, we have a lot of room here. She's like, yeah, we can do capacity this. And I was like, oh, that's more than enough. Like, we at the time we were planning 120 people. That's not our final count, but it's okay. And and so it was like, it very quickly was check in the box, including
the wow factor.
The wow factor and the excitement. And again, I want to like preface all this by saying it wasn't that any of the other venues were ugly. It just wasn't our vibe. And then this venue, when we walked in, immediately just felt, oh yes, like not only is this the vibe, it felt right, it felt good, it felt like it was a different feeling than every other venue. And kind of the same with the whole Disney dress thing. It was like, once we had left that venue, when we were comparing every other option that we had and every other whatever that we had, we kept going back to yes, that venue. And so we locked in a venue, and that was what, early summer. It's still early summer, because it wasn't it wasn't too far, which I guess that's about 3-4 months after you proposed. But we're also really fortunate, because we chose, I don't want to say fortunate, I very smartly and intentionally chose off season for our wedding. That was a big deal for me, because we have a lot of schedules that we juggle throughout the year, including my family's personal schedules and their work schedules. And so I had to very intentionally choose a time where both of our families it was accessible for everyone to travel. It wasn't going to be too exorbitantly expensive, and everyone should be free. Should be. So we chose off season, January 2026. And yeah, and we it was like, from there it was just like, okay, great, this is awesome. And we locked in the venue, and our wonderful fairy godmother Sharon has just been like the best. She's very like communicative with us, and it's been really easy coordinating things with her. And like we've asked for what's the word? We've asked for unconventional things, and her husband are like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm just like, yeah, let's do it. Which is really fun and exciting, because not every venue is like that. And yeah, so that was kind of venue lock-in. I mean, I don't know, did you have a different perspective on when we saw our venue?
No, I mean, I agree with you. Like, even I was surprised and excited when I first saw it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like this was a lot roomier. Like, it had more space than any of the country clubs that we visited.
Yes.
And even all the other venues that you had researched, probably except for one, like, it was a lot larger. And so when we finally sat down with Sharon and, we talked out the details, she was like, yeah, this entire building is rented out to you for your entire event. Yeah. And, she was like, you have this choice of how long you want it to be. You have this choice of how fancy you want it to be, how many guests, it will just depend on that and how much it's going to be at the end because of that guest count.
The guest count, yeah.
And so, she worked with us, we were like, we don't know really how much guests we were going to have, but she was willing to work with us every time it shot up. Yeah. And, that was great, because she was like, no, not a problem. I can quickly re-edit,
redraft, yep.
and get you a new estimate. And once we finally settled on a number, she was like, okay, this is the new estimate, this is what I'm quoting you for. And then I was like, cool. And that was such a seamless service for her to do to us.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that was wonderful.
Yes.
And then she got down to the nitty gritty about everything that's in the contract, but we were just like, that's something that we can live with.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. There wasn't anything about it that didn't feel appropriate. Like, it was just like, yeah, no, absolutely, we'll do that. Yeah.
There's just one stipulation that she has, which I still am pretty scared
concerned about. Yeah.
I know, I'm scared because a lot of our friends have kids.
Yeah.
And their stipulation is that any minor that is 12 or under must be accompanied by adult.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because our kid count, 12 and under.
Our kid count is ridiculous. Please, okay. I love all of our friends and all of their children with all my soul and all my heart. Truly, 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 I do. I love that we are so family oriented in our family, in our friend group. We are all very on the same page. However, all of our friends, all of them, I have one table of people with no friends or with no kids. I have one table out of 20 plus tables is just adults with no kids. But every other table, there are kids. It's crazy. Now, our venue stipulation or her stipulation is that, again, like you said, they need to be accompanied by an adult. And I want to say it was solely because she had a very bad experience with kids. And I totally understand and I get it because I worked with kids for a long time, so I get it. So that's kind of the part that we're just like, we got a lot of kids and we just got to hope and pray for the best. And, I'm kind of locking in all my old friends who helped me with kids before and just being like, hey guys, help me out. Make sure nothing goes awry. We've also provided, or we will be providing like little entertainment, little drawing things so that they can hopefully be preoccupied enough that it kind of helps augment. But yeah, that was kind of the one thing that we're just like, ooh.
Yeah.
But it's not in our control either. Like, we couldn't control our friends not having kids / having kids. That's not our place or choice. But also, like, we're not going to give up on our dream venue just because at the end of the day, they're all our family. We say it all the time. Like, we're like super uncle and super auntie because we literally have so many nephews and nieces in addition to our actual biological nephews and nieces. And we love them all equally. And it's hard. It wouldn't be the same if we didn't include them, truly. So we had to. But it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
But yeah, just to give you a rough estimate, the number of kids in our guest list is about 20% of the total population.
Total, not population.
Total guest count.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Which is wild. 20% of your guests are kids. Wow. But also we're big kids. So what am I, as I'm squeezing a Bulbasaur in my arms right now, like, it'll be fine. I can't control what I can't control, so it'll be fine. And I told all my friends, it was like, obviously we have to do what we have to do. And we did stipulate to all of our friends and all of our guests who are bringing kids, if the venue decides to kick you out, I cannot change that.
Yeah.
Because of that stipulation, the venue does have the right to remove any characters that they deem too much.
Yep.
And we told that to all of our friends and all of our family, and we said, hey, this is not us. Obviously, like, we love your kids. This is not whatever. We're obviously inviting and including your kids, but know that the venue does have the right, and they reserve the right to remove you from premise if they're too rowdy, if they do something, whatever. So we're just kind of like hoping and praying for the best.
Yeah. With the venue that we chose for the reception, with it having in-house catering, it made everything a lot easier. A lot of the planning just became gone because
one-stop shop. Yep.
They provided everything.
Yep.
So what was left for us to plan were just a couple of things. So we had food planning, DJ planning, photo, videographer, and what am I missing?
Clothes and things, like your clothes.
Right.
And essentially like it's all kind of fine-tuning things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, we've talked about this before. We're getting married at a chapel, and then we're having our reception at the reception venue. So 2 different venues, so to speak.
Right.
For our wedding. Now, what was nice about, and I think it saved me a lot of mental grief, is that not only is a reception a one-stop shop for food, it's also decorated. So we are providing a couple of custom things. We're providing obviously our party favors. We're providing, like I said, the little activities for the kids. But the actual venue, the setup, the plates, the chargers, the chairs, the chair covers, all those things that other places that you would have to take care of, it's all taken care of. I mean, literally, like, homegirl's making me a winter wonderland, and I'm so excited. And, you know, she just has everything on lock, and I'm like, okay, great. All I'm doing is providing, you know, little cute little Pokemon Disney things, just so that we have it at the table. And the table numbers. Oh, yeah, the table numbers. Wow. Like, so easy, because, like, it could have been way more complicated, and it wasn't. Now, all that to say, we do still have to decorate the chapel. Now, another thing that's been easy about this process is we have a florist. We've always had a florist. Shout out to my uncle. My uncle is a florist, and from the beginning, we've always known that he was going to be our florist, and it was never a question. And I'm really, really excited because, so once we got past, like, he also did my cousin's wedding last year, and once we got past my cousin's wedding, he and I just kind of like put our heads down, and we're like, okay, what are we gonna do? And he was like, my vision is this. And I'm like, all right, go off with your vision. Like, I trust this man to the end of the world with flowers. I'm like, just do what you have to do. All I request is I want 3 here, down the aisle, and an arch. Like, I just told him what I wanted, and I'm like, go, have fun, be creative. And actually, I think I'm like that with almost all of our creative vendors. I've been very loosey-goosey isn't the word. But I've been very much like, I want them to do their art, and I want them to be the artists that they are, and do that. That's for our photographer, our videographer, and our florist. And who else is creative?
Our photo booth person.
Yeah, I was like, whatever. He was like, do you want this? I'm like, whatever. Stressing him out. I don't mean to. I love you. And again, like, we're so lucky that we have such a nice, broad, wide, beautiful network.
Yeah.
Because everyone is a friend or a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
I was about to say that before you already said it, but yeah, our network of friends and family just made it really easy to pick out who we wanted for each individual thing.
Each part, yeah.
And so, you know, one of my groomsmen is the guy that has the photo booth business.
Guy, yep.
And so he was like, hey, fill out this form, you know, tell me what you want. And I was just like checking boxes and whatever just to get through it. And then he was like, hey, you can pay for all the extras. I'll hook you up and, you know, give you the thing for free.
So generous.
And I was like, bro,
generous.
I love you.
Yeah.
And then
generous.
we have a friend that's aspiring to be a photographer.
I mean, he pretty much is. He's just kind of like, he does freelance photography as a business. He's going to school for business, and he's also in sales.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of at that point in his life where he's like doing a lot of little things for everything to kind of build his career, which is great and wonderful. And we've known him forever, obviously, but we have been with him since the start of his photography career. So we've asked him to do like Bunso Bite photos. We've asked him to do our engagement shoot. And it was just kind of like, I mean, obviously he's going to do our wedding. And not only is he an amazing photographer in a sense that like he loves capturing, you know, really hyper specific moments, which is something that I very much love as like a fellow creative. But also I think he does it in a way that is so genuine to the moment. Like it never feels overly planted or staged or whatever. Like he genuinely is a type of photographer that he wants to capture the feeling, and it's not just capturing an image. And it shines through his work, and which is why we love and continue to have him do our stuff.
Right.
I'm sure when we have, you know, family photos, we're gonna ask him, like, you know, like he's just gonna be our forever photographer. At least right now, like he's amazing.
Yep. And
I
think because of that, he made a suggestion to us that he knows someone that he would like to work with as the videographer.
Yes.
And we were like, go ahead, you know, shoot. Who is this person? And, you know, he told us, and we were like, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
You know, let's set up a call, and you know, let's get the fine details out, and you know.
And I'm pretty sure even before that, we were just kind of DMing each other.
Yeah.
Like I was DMing the videographer. I was like, hey, this is what we're looking at. This is budget. Like, what do you think? And I was like, and then if you come or if you agree, we'll just cover your hotel. He was like, bet. I was like, oh, that was easy. Okay. Set up the budget, set up the whatever. And then, like you said, then we hopped on a call, and it was with videographer and our photographer. And we were just like, yeah, here's a timeline. Any questions? What do you want? Capture our day.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like I have a photo shot list of like, these are the bandos, obviously. Get us doing our like I do's and our you may now kiss the brides. But otherwise, like, have fun. A distinct moment that happened specifically for me was I was talking to our cousins, again, the cousin that recommended the venue. And I told them who our videographer was. And they were like, no way. His work is amazing. Have you seen his stuff? And I was like, yeah, I did. Because obviously, like, I hired him, or like we're hiring him. And they're like, it's going to look so good. Like, we were even thinking about getting him for Harvard, like, all this stuff. And I was like, that makes me feel good about our decision. Like, if I'm getting this much hype from our cousin, I'm like, all right, we didn't mess up that bad. So yeah, and it really was just a process of organizing all of our network, our friends and family, and organizing our army, literally. Hey, I'm telling you, if we ever had to run a wedding business, like I could be a one-stop shop. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. Like I have a network of everyone for all things wedding, which is what.
Ooh.
What?
No, I'm surprised that you said that, because I was talking to our photo booth person Tuesday.
Yeah.
Not Tuesday, Saturday, and he was like, "Man, the wedding business is the place to be right now."
It is.
And
because people are willing and ready to spend money again post.
Yeah, and he was like, "Bro, if I had like the help to do it, I would literally go and do it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, you know, I know a person that's trying to get into business too. You know, you can hit up this person. You can probably find you a venue, and then, you know, if you need people to like set up shop or like need to invest, you know, you definitely have friends that were willing to help." And then, you know,
Mo and I were talking about venue too when she was here last, because for the wedding shower she was like, why are there no like venues here?
Exactly.
And I was like, well, we can find a venue. I was like, I'll invest with you. Let's 50-50.
Right.
Is this a business idea?
It could be.
Are we stealing our secrets?
It could be. But yeah, we were talking about it. We were just like, bro, that's the business that you need to be in right now.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we were talking about it, just joking around and stuff, but it's something that's very possible. Yeah.
I mean, I like I said, we over the course of our lifetimes, and a big part of that being especially during the time of our relationship, we have had such a wonderful and beautiful opportunity to cultivate relationships with such amazing people. I mean, granted, okay, yeah, my uncle is a florist, so like that's kind of that's like a family thing. But the fact that our friends and our friends of friends, I mean, there are so many people who have gone out of their way and pulled out stops for us without us even asking. And it's been such an honor and a delight, and them willing to kind of like stop and like celebrate this moment that we're gonna have is like really awesome. And that was kind of like the part of Wedding Planner that I really wanted to really get to. Was it has been very busy and very stressful isn't even the right word. It's just your schedule is so packed all the time. Whether it's you're scheduling to meet with vendors, you're scheduling to do this, you have to take care of this, and everyone comes to you with all the questions and you have to have all the answers right here, right now. And sometimes you don't, and that part can be hard. But what has been such a joy is that it truly does feel like, in its own way, outside of the venue and catering, but like everything else has felt so homegrown. Like it feels like it's the truest and most genuine act of love from our friends and family to not just celebrate this day with us, but to help make it happen too.
Right.
I'd even mentioned the cake. Our friend's mom is making our wedding. She is making our wedding cake, guys. And when I tell you, she makes the most delicious cakes. I can't even describe it to you. She makes the most amazing, delicious cakes, and they're beautiful. Like I can't even. She was showing me the design she was looking at. She's like, "What do you think of this?" I was like, "I didn't even know you could do that." Like, and she was just showing me this like beautiful like drapery, fabric, flower, this, that, the other gorgeousness, and I was like, "That's even possible with cake?" I had no idea. I mean, obviously you see like the crazy cakes on like TV, but she's just a hobbyist cake person. But golly, she makes such amazing, delicious cakes, and I'm so excited to eat her cake. And then we got sheet cake for the rest of our guests, which is really exciting. And then even like this week, like everyone's stepping up to be like, "Oh, okay, I'll pick up here. Oh, okay, I'll do this. Oh, okay, I'll do that." And I'm like, wow, like they're making it so easy, like, am I working and still trying to make this happen? Yes. Yeah. And I don't want my friends to be stressed out either. Like I'm not giving them work to do, but it really does take a village. And everyone's stepping up to not just do their part, but they're doing it gladly. And I'm so excited. I mean, I can't even express to you. My bridesmaids have been my mental checks this whole week. I have texted one of my bridesmaids is my cousin. I have texted her at like 1 o'clock in the morning, like 3 nights this week, just being like, "I'm losing it." And she's like, "No, you're not." And I'm like, "Okay." And it's stuff like that. Like, I can't thank her enough. Just her being like, "No, you're fine. We got this. Like, it's okay. Everything's going to be okay." In the moments when I can, I'm not saying that I'm putting up a facade, but like obviously when people ask, "Are you okay?" It's just like, but in the inside you're like, everything is on fire. Everything is on fire. Now I'm not lying. Like I think I've been very transparent and open with all of our friends and family about everything that's happening. But again, it's that thing of everyone's coming to me and asking me all the questions, and everyone's coming to you and you're like, "I don't know the answer." And I'm like, you ask me, I'm like, "I don't know the answer." We're just like, okay, so another thing to think about. But would I have changed anything or would have had it any other way? No, absolutely not. Excuse me. Absolutely not. Because it's by the end of this, and we are in the height of it right now, so I can't say right now, but by the end of this, it would have been and will be like one of the best experiences we're going to have because of our friends and family, because everyone turned up and showed up and brought, their heart and their soul into it, so that we, as undeserving as we are, so that we can have the most amazing day. And I'm so excited. Like, I'm so excited. I'm terrified because there's so many things that can go wrong, and there's so many things that are out of my control, and there's so many things that I'm just like, I don't know. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited to just have a full day with people that we love, like that we love so much, that we are so undeserving of their kindness and friendship, and they're just gonna be there hanging out and celebrating with us. Like, what did we do? What did we ever do in the world to deserve anything as beautiful as that? I have no idea. But I'm so excited for it because I'm just like, it's going to be great. I mean, people are literally traveling across the country, across time zones to see us, to celebrate us. And I'm just like, yeah, like, let's do it. It's going to be so fun. But yeah, that's been the gist of wedding planning.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah. There was one component that I thought I had already planned, which was for the DJ.
Uh-huh.
And because I knew that, my best man,
Yeah.
or not my best man, but my groomsmen,
Yes.
they knew of someone that is a DJ,
Sure.
but that fell through when I heard about what happened during one of our guys' nights.
Oh.
And so
I didn't know this.
yeah. And so I didn't have a DJ planned out. But God works in such mysterious ways that he made it so easy for us. Yeah. So Sharon, she gave us a list of DJs that were approved to be at the venue.
Yes, fairy godmother Sharon.
Yep. And, it's probably a list of 6 DJs, none of whom I've ever heard of. Mm-hmm. And then we went to a wedding.
A friend's wedding?
Yep.
Yeah. We
went to our friend's wedding, which was in November.
Yeah.
And the DJ there, we're like, hey, they're doing a pretty good job. Let's ask, who's he from?
Super chill guy, very polite, very truly polite, wonderful customer service.
Yep. And so we got the company name and we got his name, and then I went to go check on the list of DJs that Sharon provided, and I was like, oh, it's the same company.
Yes. Oh yeah, the same mother company. Yeah.
Right. And so I went and checked out their website, scrolled down, saw all of their DJs that they had available.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, the guy that was on the at our friend's wedding, he was on there, of course. And then there was another person that we had previously also experienced that was on there as well.
Yeah.
And I did
like a completely separate event.
Yeah, yeah. He was at our at my company's holiday party.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that he was part of this company because when he had advertised himself to me, he gave me his own personal card.
Yes,
right.
I remember we followed him on Instagram or something. Yeah.
And when I told Sharon of this specific person, she was like, I never heard of him. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh, well, we can't use him.
Yeah.
But when I saw him on the list, I was like, oh,
we can
use him. And so I was like, okay, we're definitely going with this company.
Yeah.
Because we've already had 2 successful events with this company in the past before.
Right.
And so, I made my inquiry. They got back to me. And, just in a couple of days, they were just like, we can walk you through everything that we need from you to make your event successful.
Yeah.
And, it was actually really easy for me.
Yeah.
And so, like I said before, God just works in mysterious ways.
He does.
And so that just made planning that portion so much easier.
Yeah. Yeah, so, actually, that reminds me. Another, kind of, I don't want to say last minute, but it was a component that wasn't on my priority list. But then the answer came really, really easily. When my parents were here for New Year's, I had taken them out to one of our favorite breakfast places, just for, as a brunch. Hey, let's go out. Let's stop setting up furniture at the apartment. Let's leave the apartment and let's go get breakfast or something. One of our favorite local brunch spots. And while we were there, I happened to ask the waitress, I was like, hey, do you guys it's 2 miles from the apartment, so close. And I was like, do you guys do catering? And she's like, yeah, here, check out, here's the catering, manager's contact. And, or you could just order online. It's super easy. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And it's I went online. Like you said, it was just it was so easy. Do they do delivery? Yes, within 5 miles. Oh my gosh, that's 2 miles away. Do they do, all these things of, do they do this? Do they do that? Yes. Oh, okay, cool. And I showed you the menu and you're like, yeah, we could do this. We'll split the breakfast so that girls can have breakfast, guys can have breakfast, so that we're not worried about passing out at the actual wedding because, we're not eating until dinner. But, it's okay. But then we have breakfast, and it's not just breakfast. We have good breakfast, which is really exciting because I'm just oh, okay, that was so easy. And obviously people want to provide good customer service because obviously they want to get hired by you. That's whatever. But I don't know. We really lucked out with everyone, and it's been so lovely and so nice. I mean, I'm gonna miss being a bride because of how nice everyone is to me. Like, true. And I'm not saying people are mean to me normally, but it's been so nice being the special one, you know? Like, it's been so sweet being the I don't know, the person that's getting married. I don't know. It's been a very sweet bridal era, I would say. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm grateful. So the even the last minute things came together pretty decently, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till, actual wedding day. Oh my gosh. It's happening. It's coming. It's so soon. We were talking to our friends last night, and my girlfriend was like, "You're getting married." I was like, "I know." Just full on screaming. But yeah, I'm grateful. I feel very grateful. And when I think, I don't know, maybe it's because we're older. I feel like we have the maturity and the capacity.
Oh, definitely.
To be able to step back and be like, wow, this is a thing. But don't get me wrong. Obviously, get married whenever you're ready to get married, whether that's younger or older than us. That's fine. But I think at our age and our place in life, and I think we've also been really intentional about it too, just being very cognizant and grateful for everyone and everything around us that has led us to having, planning this really cool day. You ready to marry me?
Of course I am.
I think I'm ready to marry you too. Anyways, with that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to our wedding planning episode, and we hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments below, let us know. I don't know if you guys have planned a wedding before or your thoughts on it. Again, I know we've been talking about it all year, but it's literally been what's been on our mind all year. And now that we're kind of, approaching the finish line, it feels really, really big and really, really in your face, but in a good way. And we are so grateful. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see y'all next time.
Bye.